Our Orbit automated timer decided to break just after the warranty expired. It was doing something weird where every time the valve wouldn't close, it would do a loud banging of our pipes. So it was time to replace it and try a new one. I wanted something inexpensive, and it didn't matter if it was a name brand or not, but I just couldn't justify paying the same amount I did for the Orbit. I am going with one called the Diivoo or Diivoo. I don't know how the hell you say it, but it's Diivoo. The link will be below down in the description. I noticed the high ratings, which is great, but I probably should have scrolled down a little bit to see that the ease of setup had the lowest ratings out of all of them. It is a super simple box design and easy to open. Well, there's very little content in there, that's for sure, but what else do you need, right? So here we have the plug-in Wi-Fi hub. We have what is going to be called the sub-device water faucet, which requires 4 AA batteries. A few extra components, depending on what type of hose you're going to be adding, some tape, and so forth. Well, I hope the user manual is actually easy. You can see it's a fold-out pamphlet, which I despise, and with all the different languages, but let's unfold it and see what's in there. Alright, so far so good. It looks like the manual is only on the YouTube channel. Quick caveat, went to YouTube, that sucks. There's literally nothing there for you. Found 2 online manuals as well, and they suck. So just a warning. We'll download the app and go from there. I'm going to take some time now to talk about this page right here. This was an awful experience for me. Partially it was me being dumb, partially their very bad UI. Now, what I thought was going to happen is I was going to power on the device as noted and then follow the directions, and then all steps completed was going to automatically come on along with the next, but that doesn't happen. You have to do it all yourself, and you will not know whether it's successful until the next step. So you actually have to click and select all steps completed and then hit next. They need to change this page a lot. I took the batteries out of the hose timer itself, and it requires 4 AA batteries. So that went pretty smoothly. So it came on, no problem. I saw the blinking light, so I could move on to the part where I add the actual faucet part. So I went through the steps, and I had to, choose the 2.4 gigahertz. So that means I had to have the device close to the Wi-Fi hub. After that was all done, pairing the faucet to the Wi-Fi hub wasn't that bad. That part took a long time, but you can see through the screenshots that it was at least progressing. So when I got to the part where I had to set up my schedule, that was pretty straightforward and very intuitive. Actually, I liked the way it went. But now we're going and we're trying to switch out the old timer with the new timer. And the new timer has lots of issues. The cheap plastic components would not let it screw into either side of the faucet. And I was getting very frustrated. So the Wi-Fi hub part of it, I had to move because I put it so that it would be close to the Wi-Fi router when I connected it. I'm going to return this damn thing if it doesn't get better. When I moved the Wi-Fi hub just to a new outlet, it would no longer connect to the sub-device, which is the actual, faucet, the timer. And now it cannot connect at all. So I had to reset the Wi-Fi hub so that it was brand new. Finally got that through the software to connect, but now it will not pair with the sub-device at all, and I cannot get the sub-device to reset so that it can reconnect. So what the hell? What's going to happen when the power goes out? And, then is it just not going to reconnect? So I don't know. All I did was move it, and that wasn't good. And I had to start all over, and now it's stuck. So I'll give you guys an update in a bit if I'm able to get it to reconnect again. But if not, it took me like 2 hours to set up something like with the B-hyve that I was too cheap to buy again because it only lasted a year. I set up in like 10 minutes. So I'm just very frustrated. Let's go see what I can do. All right, so here's an update. I'm gonna go plug it back in because I finally got it, but it was not easy because a lot of people like me wouldn't just troubleshoot. So it would not reset. I finally got the Wi-Fi to reset, but this wouldn't. I had to change the batteries. The batteries are at 99%, maybe 98. I'm not saying this is the actual cause. All I'm saying, this is what worked for me. So those batteries at 98%, I switched out to batteries that were at 100%. And finally, when I put the batteries in, I was able to hit this button and get it to reset, but not on the first time. I sat back down to the hub and I just kept doing it. And on like the 49th time, this finally reset and let me reconnect to the hub. So I'm gonna put it on and I'm gonna use it for a while, but I'm telling you, if the power goes out or something else goes on again and I have to go through this again, I don't care if it's a month later, a year later, 2 years later, they're gonna get the worst review and this is going back to them. Now on a good note, the software is super easy to use. So you set up what you need for irrigation in 2 minutes and it was working great. It's just, why the hell, when you move it to the permanent spot, because you have to set it up close to the Wi-Fi router, would you then like suddenly lose the ability to pair the Wi-Fi with the faucet again? Whatever. Anyway, so that's my gist. It just came on. And when you go and you look at the watering, it seems to be watering as expected. Yeah, see, everything's coming on. So I actually have a splitter, so it's irrigating one set of plants and then a group of pots over here. But yep, all the water is coming out just fine. So my final word would be this. They could have made the setup process a lot easier, just because it wasn't, as a graphical user interface, not very intuitive. I was waiting for something to automatically happen, but it never told me that I had to hit those on-screen prompts manually. So I was getting so frustrated until I'm like, well, just screw it. I'll hit them on my own and see what happens. And then once I learned that's what you had to do, the setup was incredibly easy. But the instruction manual blows, any online tutorial blows because they don't cover any of this. So hope you learned a lot from this video, and if you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. It really, really helps me as a very small channel. So I appreciate it and look forward to talking to you guys soon.